Our politics reporter, Canny Maphanga, is covering the EFF gathering for us. She spoke to the party's Gauteng chair early on.
Julius Malema just concluded his address to the Gauteng structures. He's discussed a number of contentious issues affecting the country. Amongst other things, he's discussed the fact that the EFF is reaffirming its message for the shutdown on the 20th of March, that nothing will move on that particular day. In addition, he has now confirmed that the EFF will not allow the president to continue with his SONA speech, and this comes at a time where there are a number of socio and economic challenges. The EFF has expressed a great concern regarding load shedding in the country and the possibility of the privatization of Eskom. Of course, he's looked at Gauteng as the key province to look at as the elections draw closer. He's spoken about coalitions, and I just want to bring in Mr. Nkululeko Dunga, the EFF Gauteng chair, to elaborate on the great task that has been placed before you as the province, the number one structure, as Malema has explained in his address, regarding the elections drawing closer and coalitions or agreements between the EFF and other parties that affect municipalities and by extension residents of the metros and other municipalities in this province. So I think let's first start with the coalitions, or rather, if you want to phrase it as agreements between the EFF and political parties in this province. Regarding the guidance that the Gauteng structure has received, what are you taking going forward to be able to govern in these particular municipalities?
No, thank you. First and foremost, we need to appreciate the political overview that the President has just given us as Gauteng. He has gone to an extensive historical element of referring to as some of the major key events that took place as the EFF, particularly in what happened here in Gauteng, and has referred to some of the great leaders that Gauteng has ever had, and particularly Negoroleni once more. So I would like to appreciate that. In terms of the coalitions, yes, we are in those continuous engagements with other relative political organizations in terms of finding a solution that is going to lead towards proper service delivery, particularly to the black, the landless, the jobless masses of the people of Gauteng. And we've also expressed our dissatisfaction in that particularly the DA coalition government across the entire province, where they are actually governing through coalitions, cannot actually implement some of our positions as the EFF, but do not consider the black voice in general. For the longest of times, the DA has gone on the bandwagon that where they lead, there's clean audits, there's clean governance, there's a governance that actually equates to service delivery. But in Gauteng, having had borrowed them the power to actually engage society in ensuring that there is a revolution in terms of the living conditions of our people, they've dismally failed. They've collapsed the city of Tshwane financially. They've even collapsed the standing orders and processes and procedures in the city of Ekurhuleni to a point that it has a dire impact on the city and its functioning. You have seen the collapse of the city of Joburg in terms of service delivery and the identification of townships to actually do a turnaround strategy there in terms of service delivery. So we are of the firm belief that the EFF is here and we are ready to govern. We would have not contested power in 2019 and 2021 if we never felt that the EFF is ready to govern. But this is the most opportune time for us to actually assume office and make a meaningful impact over and above just being represented in our respective councils. This is an opportunity for us to actually showcase the EFF in terms of governing in preparation for 2024.
I think in this province we've seen a lot of instability. Residents are looking on, wondering, next week will this be the leadership that we're facing, or what will the city look like in the following week after that? How do you balance this need for governance with the residents who have a need for basic service delivery as well?
Yeah, the EFF has always been committed to ensuring that there is a stability in the respective councils, as hence, even in the failure for actually political organizations to actually have an agreement in 2021. Later on, you would have followed up on the stories that the EFF took a deliberate decision to ensure that there will be councils that are established, that have mayors, whips, and speakers to oversee legislature and the executive across the entire, not only just Gauteng, by the way, but across the entire municipalities in South Africa. Now, we are in the situation, no doubt, because of the voting patterns of society and because of a lack of apathy even from voters who are eligible to vote, who are on the voters' roll, who did not come out and actually rubber stamp their authority in terms of who they wanted to lead these municipalities. And now all we are doing is trying and attempting to navigate throughout and ensuring that there is stability. But where there is white arrogance, we are going to decisively deal with it. Where there is a lack of service delivery, particularly towards our constituencies, which are black people in majority who are unemployed in townships, we are going to deal with it decisively. Where there is a rampant elevation of corruption and corrupt activities, we are going to deal with it as the EFF.